Hello, this is another little activity for school that I use instead of worksheets as kind of a fun way to do formative assessment. I generally put the kids into small groups or into pairs, and I give them a whiteboard like this, and they have them rule up a grid. Depending on the students, I might make it a big grid like a 10 by 10, or for if I want a faster game or I have younger kids to handle, I'll usually make the grid a bit smaller, and I'll get them to rule it up too a lot of the time. So along the top I've got the alphabet, in this case A to I, so 9 there, and down the side here I've got numerals 1 to 9. The idea of this is a child from each team, when it's their turn, will come up to see me and I'll ask them a question from whatever we're studying. If it's maths, if it's English, if it's history, whichever subject or whatever content we happen to be going over. And if they get that question right, they then take a card, an Uno card. So here I've got a 5, and then they take a little magnetic marker. These boards are magnetic. So you don't have to use magnetic markers. I do, but use whatever you like. So they take one of these, and they've got the number 5 there. They've got the question right, so they get a go. So they've got a 5, and they've got a marker. So they go along here to 5, and they can put that 5 anywhere along there, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, anywhere they like. So they're using coordinates to sort of play a game. So I'm going to put it on B there, and then the next kid from the other team will come up and I'll ask them a question, what's 2 times 2? And they'll say 6, and I'll say no, and then the next one will come up and I'll say what's 2 times 2? And they'll say 4, and they say, oh well, good, you got that right. So they take a card, they get a 2, so they can put their little marker anywhere in the 2 line. So they're going to put it on B there because they're playing competitively. The idea is to get 4 in a row, four of these things in a row. It's like the game's basically Connect 4, but with cards instead of choosing both areas or both coordinates. One coordinate is given to you. Because I'm using Uno cards, I assign the +2 card as giving the child 2 goes. So if they get a +2, they get 2 turns. There's a +2. That's what that looks like. Mine are frozen cards, of course, but it doesn't matter. So they'll get 2 goes. So I'll give them two markers if they get that card. If they get a wild card, they can put their marker on any square they like if they get the wild card. And if they get the +4 card, which I actually think is the wild card, but anyway, if they get the +4 card, they can take one away. So if they're on the blue team, they might take one of the yellow ones away. Okay, so the idea is to get 4 in a row. Once they get 4 in a row, they've won the game. Oops, that's not very good, is it? There we go. So they get 4 in a row, they win. Either diagonally, horizontally, vertically, doesn't matter. It's just a quick question game that the kids really enjoy because there's a competitive edge to it, but it's not as simple as Connect 4 because one of the coordinates is dictated by the cards. You can make your own cards if you like. I don't usually, although I can imagine some learners may need specific cards with instructions. I generally put a key on the board as to what each card means, the special cards, because it gets them familiar with topics such as keys for maths and so on. So yeah, that's that game anyway. It's a bit of fun. It can be very fast, very competitive, but I find it works when I want to do something formative, but I don't want to use paper. They've been papered to death. They've been writing all day. This is a good solution, I find. But anyway, I hope that was interesting for you. And if you like it, you can thumbs up or whatever it is they do on YouTube, and like and subscribe or whatever. I don't know. Okay, thanks very much.
Bye-bye.